I'll tell you right now.
Oh. No.
Peace to the family. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Let me make sure I got you here. I'm ready to work. Okay. It's not bad. It's great lighting. Yeah, it's real good. All right, family. I'm ready to do some serious work. We've had a heck of a childbirth, and working with Queen of Four, we merged the energies. But now it's time for everybody to travel and go back to where they go. Thank you. I want to do this class. I saw somebody in the chat. He's going to come here late like Jesus. A few minutes off. Stop it. Less than 10 minutes shy. The last stream I did, I actually started 1 minute earlier. So let's do this thing right, people. Let's not be silly. Okay. The next thing I want to address before we get to the nitty gritty, before we get to the work, I also want to address the fact that someone said, let's see, peace family, brother Michael Stanley, let's see if he gives us everything that he knows, if he really cares about us. A sister wrote that there. I should have took note of her name. And I want to tell that sister, that's not fair. One, is not fair. And it wouldn't be credible if I said, hey guys, I'm gonna teach you everything I know about making money, right? And there's a lot we could presume from someone who would make a comment like that, but the point of the matter is I haven't made that comment and I refuse to. What I will tell you is this, it's not right to think that a person doesn't care if they don't give you every single thing they know for free. After I've spent time, energy, and money to get into this point, now I'm supposed to turn it all over to you for absolutely free. That's not fair to even think like that, all right? And secondly, it wouldn't be credible because what can we do inside of an hour's time, 2 hours time, or 3 hours time to give you everything you know? That's why I have things like the Conscious Advisory Program. Okay, that's when I'm coaching you 12 times a month, 3 days out the week, 30 minutes at a time. The 30-minute session comprised of the days of the week that your schedule, my schedule is the most compatible. All right, so we can get to work. That's important right there. That information is important. That's the Conscious Advisory Program. The abbreviated aspect of that is consulting, where I charge you $200 an hour or $300 in person. Okay, and when you pay, I send you an email and I get debriefed on your specific interests and needs. So I'm able to put together certain resources, certain affidavits, templates, if you need them, addresses that you need to mail out to, or even a network of people that you could possibly connect with. These are the things that are important to me to provide for you to give you the best service. So rather than somebody just get on the phone, listen to you, and then I tell you, man, you know, that's deep. Hold on, brother, or hang in there, sister. No, I want to get into the deep. I want to get into the thick of things. I want to know how can I be of service. So with my consulting, as it is $200 an hour, $300 in person, I send you an email, get some questions. That's after you pay. And then I'm able to qualify what it is that you may need. So I don't cut into your time during the actual consultation process. If I didn't care, if I was attempting to be slick, what I would do is talk to you during the consultation, cut into the time, ask you some of these things, you know, but how beneficial could that be to you? All right, so that'd be corny. So that's why I make sure, okay, you make the payment, I send you some Q&A, I make an assessment from that, and then I'm able to bring to the table a lot of opportunities, things that you may be able to read, things you need to mail out, templates. So all you have to do is put in your name and address and then do what you need to do with it. Hey, boo. So that's how that works. So that's consulting. Again, you go to brother, POLIGHT45 @gmail.com. You always put your full name, your phone number, and you say, hey, I'm interested in the Conscious Advisory. That's what I'm coaching you for, months on it. all right, or I'm interested in consulting, okay, or the courses, which we'll be talking about. The courses are very important. My courses are $200, $150 discounted rate, $150 discounted rate for the masterclass. I'll be doing my last course coming up in 3 weeks on account of the fact that I have upcoming movies and I have a new property that I bought in Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, I got a mountain that I purchased 5,000 feet above sea level, waterfalls, thermal springs, and resort, all inclusive of the deal. All right, so I have to work on that. I'm in 3 different films, one of which that will be coming out this July 31st and August 1st on the big screen. Salute to me for that. I got a birthday coming up. My daughter was just born July 2nd. My other daughter is born, pardon me, my first daughter, I got 4 daughters. One daughter was just born June 2nd. The next daughter is July 31st. My birthday is August 10th. So June, July, August. Okay, that's Anissa Ma'ahotep Atunre is July 31st. And Nefertari, Camila Kosawa Atunre, was born June 2nd. And of course, Nusut Amunre Senatunre and his lovely wife, Nisute Amenet Atunre, is the mother of those 2 children in particular. But needless to say, we have to celebrate quite a bit because we have been doing very good. Been doing very good, especially within the past several years. But definitely of most recent, we're doing extremely good. And I want you guys to do extremely good because I know I won't be as available as I have been. And I know it's been hard for me to be available nonetheless in general, but I want you guys to really benefit. And so I'm taking the time out, share some things. Some of these things I disclosed in courses, but you really should get the courses, the consultations, or the conscious advisory. That's what you really should do. But I'm going to hip you guys onto some things because I love the information to be applicable. And what I'm going to tell you is this. This is what we're going to do first and foremost. This is what we're going to do first and foremost. I'll take some questions after. But this is what we're going to do first and foremost. Yeah, I'll throw the link in the chat. We build. Thank you for the appreciation. People that say, I don't get responses to email. Understand that we get millions of views. I get millions of views. Okay, so I get thousands upon thousands of emails and texts. The best time to send them is right after I do these streams. And also, you have to put your full name and your phone number and put a subject. If you're missing any one of those 3, you might get overlooked for the people who left their full name, phone number, and their subject. And a lot of times when I'm done with the streams, I do my best to contact you directly, immediately, out of respect for the fact that you've been listening to me. Okay, the conscious advisory obviously costs the most. The conscious advisory is so dope, you know, that I can guarantee you all money's back inside of 2 to 3 weeks. Your credit score, if you had a problem with your credit inside of 2 to 3 weeks, we'll get you back on the level. I'm talking if you was in the 500s, I'll have you in the 700 plus. What you got to understand is TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, they're under a lot of fire right now due to their business practices. You know, we always attack Black people's business practices. And because they're under fire right now, what happens is there's a nice little affidavit that you can send them. It's a little bit more detailed, but I want to make this flow. There's a nice affidavit that you send them. It's 2-part, in a compendium, I should say. An affidavit and a compendium of law. You send them a compendium of law and an affidavit, and a lot of those idiosyncrasies, the negativity on your credit report will dissipate because they can ill afford for you to call them up on that which they're doing wrong. Secondly, there's some information that they haven't told you, how they're getting information from CDAs or consumer data aggregates, or aggregators, as some say. Okay, so the consumer data aggregates, that serves as a 4th type of credit bureau. So you got TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And then you got these CDAs. And what they're doing is collecting data vicariously through the credit bureaus, because the credit bureaus collected the type of data that they're getting from CDAs, it'd be illegal, which they haven't. And on account of fact, that has to be addressed. And if the credit bureaus don't respond to that, they owe you at minimum about 30 grand. And so you need to take these courses to get this information. And it's not about attack information. I'm not into the attack. I'm into us being empowered in real time. I don't want to complain about slavery when I'm dealing with this money real quick. Okay, that's a different conversation for a different group of people, and I'm not mad at it. They need to push that. They need to push reparations, all of that. When I'm talking to you, I don't want to include none of that. I want to get straight to the money. That's what I'm talking to you about, because I understand that wealth begins for an individual at $150,000 upward a year. It actually went up past 150 grand, but we'll go 150 grand upward. So wealth begins at $150,000 a year upwards. Poverty begins for an individual at $15,000 a year. So here it is. For a family of four, poverty is stipulated as such. For a family of four, poverty begins at $32,000 a year. For an individual, poverty begins at $15,000 a year. For an individual, wealth begins at $150,000 a year upward. So it's over $100,000+ in that gray area. If you're not wealthy, you're in the poverty realm, and that's what it is. And now, well, what do they mean by that? What they're saying is you should be able to invest 1/3 of your income, win, lose, or draw, and not compromise the integrity or momentum of your life. So let's do this, because this is information they don't teach you in school. Okay? This is the information they don't teach you in school. Make sure you share this video as well. I know we like the Black Power talks and put our boots on the white man's neck and who came first and where the Neanderthal fits in and the rhesus monkey, RH factor. All of that is information that's very necessary, granted the circumstance. But nothing can be more viable than being alive long enough, sustaining yourself in such a way where you can afford to purchase the research material or even travel to the places in question. That's why we call it Kuina Akuno in our culture. So make sure you share this video. It's very important because we want to share this information with our people. They need it badly. We want to share this information with the people. They need it badly. Hold on, y'all. Trying to find a way to, okay, great. I want to watch YouTube on my phone, see what I can intercept or catch. Okay. Okay. All right. Then I want you to peep. If I was dropping knowledge about religion, how much people will flock here and want to do that. But once we start talking about wealth building, and I say I'm giving you free information, watch how sick some people are. Like they're programmed to create confusion. Pay the confusion no mind. Because this information is for you. Because then what people will say is these people never take the time out to give us any free information to get the ball rolling. That's what they'll say. So be careful. Because you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. Because when you don't teach people how you came up, they get mad at you. And then when you attempt to teach them how you came up, they got all these things why they mad at you. Like I said earlier today, someone said, if you know all this information, how come? And somebody wrote it in the chat too, paraphrasing. How come everybody else don't know it? So what makes you so special above or beyond everybody else that you should know this information they don't? And here's the answer to that question. The answer to that question is, first of all, from pre-K to 12th grade, there's 14 years you're going to school. And during those 14 years of schooling, did they teach you anything about credit? Did they teach you anything about UCC? Did they teach you anything about real estate? No, they didn't. For those 14 years you went to school. Keep in mind, by the time you get out of school, you should be 17, 18, maybe even 19, depending on the situation, right? You're a young adult. You should not come out of school, high school, that is, without at least having 3 businesses of your own, especially in the world that we're living in. We're living in a world that's making a transition from the paper money paradigm to the cashless society paradigm. And in a realm where we're going into a cashless society, we can't afford to be saving every dollar up and putting it under the bed, because the people who have millions of dollars didn't save up every dollar to get to those millions, did they? No. They've acquired that money in bulk because of insurance. You don't get taught that in school. Because of credit, the lending aspect of things. Okay, you don't get taught that in school. Okay, school doesn't teach you about credit card redlining. And in credit card redlining, what happens is they can't deny you of credit or loans based on your race, but what they can do is deny you of credit or loans based on your zip code. We know that the races exist in clusters per each zip code. So that's the nuance, okay? So there's a map where the line is literally red. Whoever lives around those lines, we're going to lower the probability of giving them any loans or credit. And if we do give them credit, it's going to be very low. That's one. School don't teach you that. When it comes to building credit, especially if you have little to no credit or your credit is shot, you should get at least 2 credit cards. Okay? Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. It's a real talk. Give a donation for this free information. I appreciate that. Oh, Cafe Palmer. I really appreciate that. So, okay. Thank you so much. So what happens is you got these credit card redliners. School doesn't teach you that there's a grid where you don't want to say you live in that particular area, because if you live in that particular area, it lowers the probability of you getting any money from a loan or any substantial line of credit. This is important because if I can put you in a position where you can get $200,000 upward revolving line of credit, $100,000 upward revolving line of credit, you probably know what to do with that if you had it in your possession. Thank you, Don't Care One, for the donation, $49. Appreciate you. You probably would be able to do something with that money. Think about it, people. And that's what I'm saying, because even though we want the information for free, we shouldn't be like, yo, let me grab as much information I can get from this person for free. That's a sign that you are going to fail as a businessman and woman. Because when you really care about information that empowers you, you don't mind investing to make sure it perpetuates itself, that condition, that situation. So thank you, Right Info, for the $20 donation. Thank you so much. So what you want to say is this. This is why it's so very important. I want you to take this into consideration. Credit card redlining. We're dealing with insurance right now, right? We're dealing with insurance. School don't teach you that if you say, hey, I'm from this zip code, you know, it's funny, we be in the hood, we be like, you know, thank you, Calvin Richmond, for the $50 donation. You be like, you be in the hood, right? And you say, hey, man, I'm from the 1212, I'm from the 718 zip code, I'm from the 347. We'd be proud of that, so proud of it, that we don't realize this can handicap us. Because once them credit bureaus see your zip code, they see the history of you and your family and everybody around there. And they say, man, people in that area tend not to pay things back. So what you're going to do, you're going to set up a mailing address, particularly if you set up a trust. It's very important if you do that, because with a trust, it changed the whole paradigm per the address and all. When you set up a trust in this instance, even if it's personal, you can do this with your personal name. I'm suggesting a trust, perhaps an irrevocable life insurance trust. Okay, but you can set up a trust nonetheless, an irrevocable trust, perhaps, or maybe an endowment fund trust. There's several types of trusts. I'm giving you the ones that's most ideal. All right, and you set it up in a different area code, different zip code, and we set up in a different zip code, particularly maybe FedEx. You don't want to do USPS; it's going to be considered a mailing address no matter what. So what happens is you're going to set up this mailing address in a highly reputable school district or a low crime rate area, but definitely where the median income is for the wealthy. You want to set it up in an area where the average person is making over $150,000 a year. By the time you've had that mailing address for at least 3 months, it would appear that you can sustain yourself in a zip code where the average person is making over $150,000 a year. It loans you credibility. Thanks, Roy Carter, for the $2 donation. Oh, okay. I'll text the Cash App when the time comes in there. Thank you so much. Man. So it loans you credibility. All right. It loans you credibility. And this is very important. Because if we look on paper, it appears you have an office or a place that you live in a zip code where the average person makes over $150,000 a year, then someone wouldn't be reluctant to give you monies within that sphere or that realm. That's one. Two, what schools don't teach you is this. Thank you, Stand for Truth, $20. Appreciate you. What another group of people won't tell you in school is that not only does your zip code matter in raising your credit score where you live at, okay, and staying away from the redlining so you're not alienated or denied fair opportunity to get significant sums of money, because the goal is this. You don't want a small amount of money. Like, people get credit cards, and the credit card might have a $5,000 spending limit. And you be like, yes, I got a $5,000 spending limit. Unbeknownst to them, you're not supposed to spend more than 15% that of the amount of money that's extended to you for credit. So this means you shouldn't spend more than $750. So even though they give you a line of credit for $5,000, you're not supposed to spend more than $750. Otherwise, they check you out on your credit report. So here it is in the credit world. You're thinking, well, if I don't use this credit card and I think I'm slick, that's going to impact my credit. If I do spend too much time, so that's going to impact my credit. It shows I'm definitely relying on this, and eventually I'm going to fail because I keep going back and forth to this credit. But here's another thing. Here's another issue. Thank you, Andrea Sales. Here's another issue right here. What's the other issue, you may ask? The other issue is that if you should have at least 2 credit cards. And the reason why you want to have 2 credit cards is because you want to make sure both credit cards have what you call a balance transfer option. Why do you want a balance transfer option? You want a balance transfer option. So let's say you spend $900 from your $5,000 credit limit credit card. You spend $900 from the credit card that gave you $5,000 access. What's going to happen? Well, you went $250 over, right? So what you're going to do is exercise your balance transfer option, and you're going to transfer the excess amount of $250 into the other credit card. So long as that $250 doesn't contradict the credit limit, keep me within the confines of the 15% parameter. Now you're actually going to get credit for that. Why? Because now they'll say this is an intelligent consumer. You've made an intelligible decision by exercising your right to use the balance transfer option so you can stay within the 15% parameter. You might want to do this on purpose. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And in that scenario, that type of practice can get you 10 points up on your credit report. And here's another thing. We don't even know what gives us points and establish that. We do that in the course, though. Those of you that want the course, it's $150 discounted rate. Okay, you just email me, brother, POLIGHT45@gmail.com. POLIGHT45@gmail.com. Brother Polite45@gmail.com. And we'll get that in. We're actually dealing with that this Sunday. But the master class is 3 weeks from now, dealing with health and dealing with wealth. We're going to be dealing with QRPs, qualified retirement plans, cash and tax deferrable compensation arrangement plans. We're going to show you how to put together administrative affidavit of specific negative burden with opportunity to cure and counterclaim and admiralty for those who deal with foreclosures. Yeah. We're going to be dealing with stocks. It's the master class because I won't be available to y'all as often as I would like, so I'm going to go super hard. Can you do me a favor? Can you give me the lime juice and the E3 Live?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. I don't know why you guys are not getting the notifications. I kind of know. I feel like I'm getting shadow banned sometimes, but that's another conversation. You know, because the subject matter is intense. If I was doing some Negro activity, y'all would get the notification that I'm on live. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. And you know, the crazy part is people that know so much about what I'm talking about. I always oftentimes wonder when I go to their channel, why are you not teaching since you know all of this? Okay? It's just annoying because while I'm teaching people, no, that's wrong, polite, that's not. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I've never had a problem demonstrating my lifestyle. I've never had a problem showing you my Bentley, 55 Bentley. Okay, I never had a problem showing you the 35 Benz. These are the newest things in the inventory. All right, and I still keep the I-8. Okay, I never had a problem showing you the $150,000 car, $230,000 car, or $400,000 car, Wraith. And people say, oh, when you get the car, it appraises for, it doesn't appraise for more, it devalues the second you go off the lot. You got to save that stupid talk for other people that don't know better. Here's another thing the schools don't teach you. Sometimes to provide for a better tax shelter, you put your money in assets that you can cash out readily or in expedient fashion. One of those things are cars. If you own your cars outright, right? It's always important to own your cars outright if you can. And what happens is, you don't make your first million. School won't teach this. You don't make your first million until you make your second million for the average person. You don't make your first million until you make your second million because taxes. They'll take anywhere between 350 grand to $500,000 upward from your first $1 million. So we apply this method. We know they're taking between 35 to 50% of all your money, especially when it becomes larger. Take that into consideration. So now that we know that, what if I had a car, but the taxes on the car, because the car is so expensive, the car costs more than a lot of people's homes. What if I got a little $500,000 car? But I know they want to take at least 35% of the taxes out of it, right? Then I go, okay, pardon me. That wouldn't happen because it's a car. But what if I had $500,000 in the bank? Yeah, they want to get that 35% on. They won't want to get that on 30% something. They don't want to get that on. The larger dollar amount you're making, the more they're gonna take. You got me? So they want to take at least $150,000 in or around for my $500,000 that's in the bank. But what if between two cars I got is $500,000? But for one car I got to pay $1,800 in taxes. Another car probably pays $600 in taxes. You're like paying taxes on the car, $1,800. You stupid, right? You pay $1,800 taxes for that car. Now think about this. Think about this. What would have been $150,000 because I had $500,000 in the account would be only $1,800 to about $3,500 in taxes per year. And if we did that for 10 years straight, it would only be $35,000. It would never compare to the $150,000 that I would have to spend on taxes for having the large amount of money in the bank. But what if I can cash out an asset? Then that asset becomes a tax shelter. And yeah, I'll be paying taxes, but significantly lower. And then if I need the money in real time, I just cash out, sell the car, give it right back to the dealer, or I know I have something that's readily available on the market because of its uniqueness. Say, for instance, a 55 Bentley. You say, oh, you bought the old car. I'm like, people, like, if you're not in this genre of knowledge, leave it alone. So don't tell me, oh, you're buying cars and the second you go off the lot, it devalues. That's knowledge that came by to us late in the community to make you sound smart. That's knowledge that came by in the community to make you sound smart. It doesn't apply to everybody that buys a car because some people buy vehicles under a much smarter pretense because they understand what it means to have a viable tax shelter. Okay? So I just hope you're walking with me. Why don't you just get precious metals instead of cars that depreciate in value? You just missed the whole point. You just missed the whole point. The car doesn't depreciate. I mean, where have you been, bro? You see, that's what I'm saying. When people teach you information so you can regurgitate that sounds smart, someone that knows better will check you. Every car that you buy doesn't depreciate when you go off the lot. That's a lie. And that's a lie that they maintain to keep poor people away from understanding where they can put their money. Because poor people put it in the bank and it do nothing for you. You know, so long as your money is pending in growth, it's hard to tax it. So that's why you might want to put your money in insurance. And then when you're ready to spend, you roll over the contribution. Or if you have your own QRP, a qualified retirement plan, you create your own pension plan. You conduct a distribution. You purchase it through real estate. You find out what's difficult to be taxed and under what circumstances can things be deferred. That's why the QRP is a cash and tax deferrable compensation arrangement plan. That long stipulation was designed so you don't have to worry about taxes. Now, the problem is, who cares about taxes when I'm not making a lot of money? But this is why you see when people start making a lot of money, they wind up with tax problems because they didn't care to have this information, because many people never believed, Many people never believed that they was even going to make money in the first place. So I'm supposed to be looking at. Okay, I'm live, just so you know. Oh, a code you said. There you go. Got it? Okay, so many people would never believe they was going to make money in the first place. Okay, that's the problem. They never believed. So first of all, this conversation isn't for you if you believe you're always supposed to be in the poverty line. $32,000 a year for a family of four, $15,000 a year for an individual, $150,000 plus a year for a person who actually has wealth. And by saying you have wealth, you're saying that you're able to invest 1/3 of your income, win, lose, or draw. You could lose it all. 1/3 of it. You're supposed to be able to invest 1/3 of everything that you make. 50-30-20 principle. 50% obligation. You remember that class? 50-30-20. Remember that? 30% is miscellaneous. 20% is debt and investments. 50-30-20 principle. Okay? Now, if you know the 50-30-20 principle, you allocate your funds accordingly, and you also understand you should be able to invest at least 1/3 of your income. Then apply the 50-30-20 principle after you invest 1/3 of your income. Without fail, without harm. And if you can't invest 1/3 of your income, even when you add $150,000 a year, that means that your means doesn't justify your streams. That means that you have entirely too much expenses. That means your income to expense ratio is totally disproportionate. Because if you're at a point of wealth, you should be able to invest 1/3 of your income without contradiction of your income to expense ratio. Yeah, I'll take some, baby. I'll take some. Thank you. Okay? Okay? So that's how that works. That's how it works. All right, so here's some more information you need. Don't forget, I need the lime juice. I need 3 lime. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the love and the support. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. So the big problem is many of us not prepared to be successful. So when it comes, it goes that fast. It comes as fast as it came. It goes as fast as it came because you're not really sitting here saying, I'm gonna open up my account, I'm gonna have 6 figures in it. I'm gonna open up my account, I'm gonna have 7 figures in it. Y'all don't believe that's gonna happen anyway. Even when you sign up for the courses, a lot of people brain be programmed, like, I just want to learn this information. Nobody really wants to know that they're heading in that direction. And so that's why you get so much pessimists in the chat rooms, because their brain is like, please, do you know there was 75? Thank you. Do you know America is made up of about 14% Black people? Only 5% of the whole of America actually has wealth or makes over $150,000 a year. Thank you for the donation, Aaron Barfield. And in addition to this fact, wild rice, okra, avocado. You put the E3 Live in here already?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. Blue green algae and lime juice. Oh yeah, that master class. It's gonna be real because we're gonna also go into the health big time. And I'm commissioning all my following and supporters, especially members of New Covenant, to go on an algae fast. Blue, green, brown, and red. Red algae being sea moss. Brown algae to preference, kelp. Blue, green algae, E3 Live. It's good. Yes. Okay, so we're going to algae fast. We'll break it down. So all our necessary amino acids. Stop saying protein. No, we got to get protein. We got protein. You read in the back of bags. Yeah. Has the right amount of grams of protein. I'm saying which amino acids is in that food. You don't know. You don't know if it got selenium, cysteine, or none of that. Just protein. Not all protein is good for you. You know, gluten's protein, right? Gluten is protein. Do you want that? Gluten gives you a beer belly. Makes it hard to get rid of the fat. You don't have to drink any beer in your life and you'll get a beer belly because the food you eat is so filled with gluten. Protein. There it is. Oh man, I need protein. You don't need that type of protein. They ain't the only protein that's harmful to you. You don't believe me? You can check it out. Not all luxury cars increase in value. You gotta know how to do your due diligence. You gotta see what appraisers for more or which assets can provide as a tax shelter. You got assets what it's worth for the most part in real time and just pay the taxes on them as opposed to paying the taxes for the amount that that vehicle is worth in the account. Either way, you gotta pay taxes. But if I got X amount of cars, I can pay a significant sum. Like I said, in 10 years, I would have paid $18,000 for one of my cars in taxes. So what? Because the amount of money I'm saving from not having that same amount that that car's worth inside of a bank account, that'll cost me $100,000 or more. So instead of spending over $100,000 in taxes, I spend $18,000 in taxes 10 years out. They don't want that in real time now. They ain't waiting no 10 years to get that. In fact, they're going to raise the amount that I owe them. The second that money's in the account, they want them taxes. Whereby with the car, I can spend way less and have it for 10 years. You're going to multiply the number by 10, and you still want to come remotely close to the amount of money that they want for taxes. See, you get excited. Basketball players getting $100 million contract. Unbeknown to you, they get less than $50 million for themselves. That's a fact. That's the whole, what, you missed it? Oh my gosh. The lovely Queen of Four. I wonder if we close this, because we didn't want her to go. There's a lot of energy, especially Matt. Matt probably did it, because Matt been stressing us out since I told her. I'm sure she came and gave you a little stress. I told her, I broke the news to her last night. Queen's leaving.
Broke the news. That's why she was up so late.
She's supposed to be here dancing with us. Yeah, she was stressed out. Matt was stressed. There's that type of vibe. Y'all ain't had that swag like you wanted to leave either. It's kind of, even though it was already planned, it was short notice. But anyway, you was leaving us a day early. Forget that. We always like, yo, hold on, I thought you said Friday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna know how to look sad for you. She's gonna be happy. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna get back to work. Where we at? Let's get this. So credit-wise, you want to have at least 2 credit cards. School won't teach you this. You want to have at least 2 credit cards. And you want both credit cards to have a balance transfer option. You never want to spend more than 15% out of the amount of credit issued to you. Case in point, if you have a $5,000 credit limit, you're not to spend more than $750. If you spend over $750 from your $5,000 credit limit, which puts you right in that space where you're safe until you spend over $750, then what you're going to do is allocate some of those funds. Maybe even not at $750. Maybe you allocate funds until you get to $650. But you allocate the funds to the other card as a balance transfer option to get your kudos, get your credit from the credit bureaus. You're also going to be aware of credit card redlining, and to preference, you're going to set up a trust. If you don't, you still can use your personal name, and you're going to set up a trust in that area that the average person is making over $150,000 a year. So it loans you credibility, literally. That's what you're going to do. Okay. Here we go, 30%, bro. I'm telling you, never spend more than 15% of what's issued to you on your credit card. Someone else is telling you 30%. Who you gonna listen to? The ones telling you spend more or less. See, this is what I'm talking about. And then if we go to this person's page, they're teaching you nothing. They only want to teach on my time. This is how weird people are. All right? They only teach on my time. Why you always want to teach on my time? And then I go and say, man, let me see what kind of bars this person is dropping. So anyway, I don't see it nowhere on the internet where they tell you get at least 2 credit cards if you're just starting up. Get a balance transfer option. Never spend more than 15% out of the credit limit they give you. If they give you $5,000, unfortunately, that means you're not supposed to spend more than $750. Should you spend $950? Should you spend $900? Transfer $250 to the other credit card. That's your balance transfer option. They'll raise your credit 10 points upward. Just for looking like an intelligent consumer. Just for demonstrating that you're an intelligent consumer. Thank you for the donation, Eric Bands, $19.99. And thank you, Calvin Richmond, for the $50 donation. Appreciate you guys. It's only $1,800 a year. And for 10 years out, I would only instead of spending $100,000 amount of cash with wheels on it, and it worked to my better advantage. So this is what we're talking about here, essentially. Strategizing. So, okay, you missed it. I'll repeat it again. Credit card redlining. They're not supposed to deny you of credit based on your race. They deny you of credit and loans based on your zip code. Well, duh. Most races exist in clusters per each zip code. So they still can deny you based on race. But what they call it is credit card redlining. They got a where they show you anybody red lines exist, no credit, and if you do, give them a little bit. So what you now have to do is use FedEx as an example. You use USPS, they're gonna see it as a regular mail address. But if you use FedEx, what's gonna happen is they're gonna TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax are gonna look at it and say, you know what, this is someone's office or this is someone's house. And if you do it in a neighborhood where people are making over $150,000 a year, which is where wealth begins, then you will not only be extended more money than that of the zip code you just came from, but your credit score will also go up. So yeah, all of you right now should be looking up median incomes, looking up what the average person makes in certain zip codes, and then you go set you up a mailbox in that area and stop accepting mail from the broke zip code. Okay? If you don't believe me, look up the words credit card redlining. This is how they stop people from getting lines of credit. So you guess what? You got people with good credit scores who can get $100,000 loan because they live in zip codes that's less than reputable. So no matter how good they are, no matter how much they maintain their good credit, it's like to no avail because they don't get the big money. They're still struggling to get a $10,000 limit on their credit card. And remember, you get a $10,000 limit on your credit card, you're not supposed to spend more than $1,500. 15% of that. How about that? So here it is, you got $10,000, but you really only got $1,500 at your disposal. And anything over that, you want to be able to allocate towards the second credit card as a balance transfer option. I won't be going over this again. I know I like to repeat myself quite often. It's not because I'm crazy. It's because I want you to remember the information. Hopefully I said it's slightly different, but not so different that it becomes confusing. Okay. Remember, you want to use the 50-30-20 principle. 50% of your obligation, 30% is miscellaneous, and 20% is your savings, your debt, and your investments. Thank you, Q, for the $20 donation. He said, hey, Brother Polite, I just signed on. When will the master class be available? I saved a few $100s over the last month for the class. The info is priceless, so I appreciate you even bringing info forward, man. Thank you. You can go to brother, POLIGHT45@gmail.com. Always leave your full name and your phone number. I'll touch base with you. If you send it today and you're ready to purchase either consultant or conscious advisory program or the masterclass, the last course, always leave your full name, your phone number, and the subject matter. And if you do that today, I will do my best to be the one that speaks to you directly. And if an administrator calls you, I would make sure, if it's just for a few minutes, I say hi and give you a thanks. We'll close the deal. But yeah, that masterclass is going to be 3 weeks from now. Thank you for the donation. Okay, Eric Banks, thank you for the donation. Okay, just making sure I don't leave you guys out. Okay, where we at? What you want to do? Insurance? Let's go to insurance. We did a little bit of insurance, but you can't keep thinking you're going to save your money up by the dollar when we're going into a cashless society. So everyone else is using insurance and using credit. And now crypto. And we're still over here trying to save a dollar at a time. Where people are literally using the cheat codes to get millions of dollars at a time. It's called whole life insurance. One of the best ones that you can go to is AIG. They got a real good whole life insurance package. AIG is one of them. Very good. Just as an example. Okay. Got to give you places in terms of words that you can use. Okay. Go to AIG. As a suggestion, they have great packages. I always tell the people that into my programs, I give them homework and I give them 3 to 5 different insurance companies. They have to go out there and ask them all questions and hear the best from each of those 3 to 5 insurance policies. Graph the best to itemize a list of all the best things you heard that contrast to the others. And then call them all back again with that new breakdown and see if that can become your policy. Don't go with the first thing you hear. Everyone will tell you something that's significant, that contrasts to others. Take all those things down and create a policy of your own and then say, look, I want y'all to meet this standard. Why is insurance good? Well, I tell you what, police brutality would be at an all-time low if Black people invested in insurance. Why? Because if I spend as low as $150, of course it's a lump sum, but if I was paying $150 or so a month, if this white man kills me in the name of police brutality, or our very, very light-skinned Puerto Rican brother, or our real dark-skinned brother who's just down with the force and he don't know no better, my child would get $1 million, $500,000. If you got a life insurance policy, it'll ensure that if you ever ended up in the hospital, you'll get $3,000-$5,000 a month for every, $3,000-$5,000 a day for every day you're in the hospital. So you have to worry, dang, when I get out the hospital, I gotta hurry up and catch up on the bills. So some of you won't even go because you like, look, I'm sick, I'm hurt, I'm in pain, but I gotta work like this because I don't want to lose my house because I seriously got hurt. If you have insurance, you get paid thousands of dollars every day that you end up in the hospital. Even if you conceiving, though I don't suggest you say, hey, I want to have these children in the hospital. I don't necessarily suggest it, but your insurance will cover the bill and give you an excess depending on your policy. But you want a whole life insurance policy because you can borrow against that, which means you can use it to purchase real estate or pay off very big medical expenses or pay off student loans. No one has to die when you get a whole life insurance policy. That's why I oftentimes joke and say it should be called a death insurance policy because there ain't nobody eating off of it until somebody dies, right? But in a life insurance policy, you get a whole life, group universal policy, then things change. Why? Well, I'll show you something. If you was to set up a business of your own, I know you people like LLCs a lot. That's the only thing we really know about. When you set up a trust, you know you can add your family on as workers, right? Based on an ad hoc or one-off. What does that mean? That means ad hocs and one-offs are people that are willing to work for you technically for free because they feel they're getting their recompense from the knowledge. So it's like an internship. The only thing we're calculating the time during that internship as a form of payment because of the education, because these are people that eventually decide they're going to open up a similar business or something reminiscent to that. Why is this important? Because now you can get paid for signing people on as the workers to a company without necessarily cutting them a check. That's one. Two is you want to have an insurance policy for anybody that's working for you. And in this particular case, you get group universal. Why? Well, you ever went to Walmart and you say to yourself, it seems like most of the people on that's helping me check out seem to be a little disabled or suffering from some kind of impairment of some sort. All right? Well, that's because Walmart has insurance policies out for everybody that works for them. And Walmart has a tendency to hire people that they believe will die very soon. All facts. And they cash out. They don't give the families no money. And people get mad. They say, man, why you got insurance policies out for my family members and we ain't getting none of the money? It's not their responsibility. That's your responsibility. It's their responsibility to make sure they got insurance policy. So anyway, as a businessman or woman, you have the right to have an insurance policy out after anybody that works for you. It actually becomes cheaper if you get a group universal insurance, which you can work out with the people that work for you. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It could be your family that's on for an ad hoc or one-off. So that way you don't necessarily have to cut them a check. You get a group universal policy. And then what happens is now they got life insurance. You work something out where something be allocated to them or their family in the event something happens to them. If they wind up being hurt, they can have monies extended to them. We can make sure everybody's eating. All right? This is serious, but like I said, think about police brutality. Let's say they bop me upside my head, but they ain't necessarily kill me, but they put me in the hospital. Now I'm getting $5,000 every day or more, depending on the injuries, how much days I got to be in the hospital. If I'm just in the hospital in general right now, if I ended up in a situation where I had to be in the hospital, okay. In fact, the last time I was subject to police brutality, I'm not gonna say I made them pay. That would sound bad. What I will say is I was given about $4,200 every day that I was in there. I damn near didn't want to come home. I'll tell you that. I ain't gonna lie, because when I seen this shit was really working, I didn't want to come home. All this information is verifiable. I'm not selling you nothing. You can go out there, you can look up the information, use it for yourself. I just had some free time, right? And I believe we should make money during free time. So I wanted to just share this information. Yes, you can get the courses and consulting and all that. That's a whole nother thing. But you can literally use this information. It's at your disposal. You replay this. You call insurance policies. You ask them. And if you tell them, hey, I want to use insurance for the purposes of wealth building. Then what you can say is, I'd like you to tell me the parts of the insurance policies that I can use to sell later on if I'm not using those parts of the insurance policy. And I want to know about the insurance policies where I can sell the whole thing in particular. You say, what? They'll say, what? Who taught you that? What ethnicity are you? Y'all, we ain't used to y'all calling it. And if you think I'm lying, you gotta ask people that's in my programs. Because when I commission them to do the homework, they always tell me, yo, this person was so excited that this is what I want to do. They stopped selling me on the corny stuff and gave me the real stuff. But the first thing you have to say is you plan to make money off your insurance policy. You plan to amass wealth. You want to make money in real time while you're alive off your policy without compromising the integrity of the payout in the event something happens to you. When you inevitably transition. That's it. But imagine if police had to pay, insurance companies had to keep paying millions of dollars every time they kill black people. They'll have to find a new strategy to subjugate us and oppress us. Because everybody be getting paid millions of dollars. Imagine that. It'd be like the best thing they ever done in a very violent way. Think about it. So this is the type of education that shuts down the system. Okay? It shuts down the system. If you hold back on your coffee and you hold back on your newspapers and all the miscellaneous things you spend your money on so you could afford to pay for some kind of policy, even if it ain't $1 million payout, it's going to be at least $250,000 payout straight to your family. And if you're giving your children any form of wealth stewardship, any form of generational wealth, any form of information that can empower them, it'll be a wrap. It'll work out. These are all facts, people. These are all facts. It's about strategizing. Let's move on to some real estate. And this is all part of real estate. But when you go to school from pre-K to 12th grade, it's 14 years. And in those 14 years, they teach you nothing about credit. They teach you nothing about real estate. They teach you nothing about insurance. Yet when you graduate, you're supposed to be a young adult. And the only thing that you can do, the only promise they can give you is, yo, you need to go back to school again. You mean to tell me after 14 years? I'm a young man, or you're a young woman. We're 17, we're 18, we're 19 years old. We have no concept of credit, how to use it and how to make it work to our better advantage. We have no concept about how to embark upon the acquisition of property, which is prerequisite to purchasing property. You should know something about court. Etymologically, when we go into the etymology of court, we see the word paperwork. The courtroom is the place where you discuss the paperwork. But you shouldn't have to go to the courtroom if you already did your filing, UCC, financial statement. That's why we say your paperwork shall precede you. Your paperwork shall precede you. Okay? All facts. And before the UCC, there is a security agreement, which is the longhand version of the UCC one financing statement, which is the abbreviated version of the same. All facts. So before you do any secure transaction, here's the term secured party creditor. You want to have a UCC done. UCC 1 is the financial statement that establishes the birth of the creditor by way of the debtor. The debtor always gives birth to the creditor. Yeah, you can be a creditor, but I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest you set up a trust. Even if you got an LLC, you get an LLC and you set up a trust, and you make the trust the creditor and the LLC the debtor. The LLC will work in the public and the trust will work in the private. The LLC would generate revenue in the public, and when the revenue turns into hard assets, it becomes the property of the trust, private. That way the trust never has to get his hands dirty and touch money. And now we're creating amazing real estate opportunities and tax opportunities. Very powerful, very powerful experience. Very, very powerful. Yeah, make sure you share and post this to your social media. Do what you can and what you must with this information. It's just for fun. I got free time. We just building. Do your further research and find out this is all true, and then say to yourself, why hasn't school taught you any of this? Oh yeah, I love to debate. Love to debate. This is non-debatable. Wow, with rice, man. Gotta boil it till it splits open. And avocado, my goodness. Pardon me. Beast mode now. You guys are the best though. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, I definitely have books on the subject matter. But we only solicit the books 2 or more at a time. While we have the app developing. I met an amazing person who's really next level with the app. And he told me, Polite, you driving the Rolls Royce, you driving the Bentley, you driving the i8, you driving the Slingshot. Your app has to look like that. So after 680 plus thousand people follow me, to bring it down, when we put it back up, it's next level. But you can always email. You always leave your full name, your email, and your name is Brother POLIGHT 45. Brother POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. And then somebody will help you over the phone assistance, and look out for you. Oh yeah. This is real talk here. With my E3 Live, my blue-green algae and lime juice. Yes. So when we do that, master course is going to be a combination of holistic mathematics and wealth building strategies. Make sure you get that master course. It's $150. Discounted rate will be more. It commences 3 weeks from now. For the conclusion of the crypto course and insurance, we'll be doing that this weekend, Sunday. For the conclusion, those of you that already signed up and saw the first parts of the class, look out for the correspondence for the time, and I'll make sure that you guys receive your PDFs. It's going to be great. Okay. So we look at it, and I talked about this earlier. When we look at the word mortgage, it means pledge till you die. Death pledge. Mort means death, like a mortuary. Death. Mort is death. Gage is pledge. Pledge or agreement till you die. What's the agreement? You're pledging to pay this until you die, or until the situation kills you. What does it mean? The lifetime expectancy of us is about 72 years old. Most people don't buy a house around 30, 35. Let's use the latter, 35 years old. You get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Let's say you actually stay the course and you pay it for those 30 years, which is another scenario, because anytime you get a debt obligation, I would always suggest that a person pays 15% upward that of the amount of money that they have to pay on a month-to-month basis so they can finish it, because you'll always spend less money. That's how these things work. You know, so the debt you get into is one that you understand that you could pay more than the expected amount month to month. Otherwise, you shouldn't get into it. It's a precautionary step, plus it saves you money. You always want to create an opportunity actually where you can pay for it in half the time that is due. It looks great for credit and it's great for you circumstantially. Thank you for the donation, Eugene Payne. All right. All you gotta do is email me, brother POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. This is going to be the master class, the master course. If you're ready now, you'll get it for the discounted rate of $150. It's going to be the most intense course you've ever seen. I can guarantee you that. And again, if you're interested in consulting, it's more intimate and detailed, and that's the same, brotherpolite45 at gmail.com. Leave your full name, your phone number. And make sure you spell it right, POLIGHT 45. Brother POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. And then if you need me month to month locking in with you, that's when we make sure that you get them credit lines extended 5-6 figures upward. That's when we make sure, guaranteed, that I don't care if your credit is 540. We're going to get you to 7 and change, 700 plus minimum. We're going to take you 200 points upward inside of 2 to 3 weeks, or I give you everything you got, all your bread back. That's a fact. That's a complete fact. Now I teach you how to do this. I know what I'm doing. I actually said it in the beginning. One of the main things we do is we understand that the 3 major credit bureaus, actually 4 credit bureaus, But we'll go with the three that you know: TransUnion, Sparrow, and Equifax. What we understand is they're under heat because of their business practices and how they've been going about getting information from people. Well, once you send them a compendium, and affidavit of fact, a lot of things will disappear off your report. Credit is everything. You know how valuable your name is? You go to Walmart, they say, would you like to get a Walmart card? You say, yeah. Sorry, you're not approved because of your credit history. You want a T-Mobile card? Sorry, you're not approved because of your history. It's like, damn, your name is flamed up on these streets. All over these streets, they know you can't be getting no credit or nothing because you mess it up everywhere you go. And then what it does, it brings you down spiritually. Because what the heck do you do? It's not going to magically get better. And nobody taught you how to position yourself in such a way so it never gets destroyed. You didn't know the significance of it until you got destroyed by it. In fact, credit is very important. There's a new form of racism. I call it electronic racism. A very crafty and subtle form of putting another race at a disadvantage. But we do have to accept accountability and teach our own better. So yeah, that we do. It's all simple. Nothing's difficult. Only unknown. Okay? Nothing's difficult, only unknown. Let's say it like that. All right? So mortgage means pledge or agreement till you die. You get a house around 35 years old. You pay the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. You're 65 years old, and 7 years out, you're dead. So you're pledging to pay until you die. And what happens when people die? They get buried. Well, they hypothecate mortgages. That's when, by way of a conditional interest, they solicit property to other people without you knowing. So whether you lose the property or not, other people are making money off of your debt. They sell it in baskets, hedge funds, especially out the country internationally, where they can resolicit it over and over a limited amount of times, whatever that means. Hypothecation etymologically means to dig, create a hole, deep hole, which alludes to being buried. You get buried in debt. You wind up in the hole, as we say in debt. So here it is, the pledge or agreement till you die. So we see the element of death, and we see a burial, see a hole. And they foreclose on your property after they hypothecated the mortgage. Mortgage meaning pledge or agreement till you die, death pledge, hole or burial, dug up, okay? Knee deep in debt, as we say, right? Put you in a hole. And you get foreclosed upon. And foreclose etymologically means to cast the spirit away. Look at that. So you look at the word foreclosure, it means to cast the spirit away. Look at the word mortgage, and it means a pledge or agreement till you die. Look at a mortgage hypothecation. Hypothecation means to dig a hole or put in a hole or to dig deep. Think about that, to dig deep. So we see dig deep, death pledge, and cast the spirit away. You think that was it? You think that this is just semantics? Or was this the whole strategy, pun intended, whole? Was this the whole strategy from the beginning to create a system that will put people in perpetual debt, to create a system that will put people in the hole and destroy their spirit? Because once you wind up in that hole, you can't do nothing most times for the rest of your life. And that happens to us in our damn 30s. I mean, shoot, we at least got 42 years to go. And we got to scramble or live a lesser life. And we'll never get to that 5% because America's #1 gross domestic product, GDP, 1/3 of all of America's money comes from real estate, and over 50% of the money they make from real estate comes from debt. So debt is their largest commodity, separate and different from human labor or the transmit utility. Another conversation. Thank you, Demetrius Brown. You're the man. Study finance every day. Appreciate you, my brother. It's real talk. The whole thing destroy your spirit. Just imagine you say, yo, I'm finally out my mama house. I got my own house now. Just the fact they put your name on it. You feel good about it. You're like, yeah, finally got my own thing. Imagine that feeling 5 years later. Oh, we taking this. They destroy you. They take a portion of your spirit, literally. That's what debt do to you. That's what bad credit do to you. It just make you feel depressed and down about yourself. You get overwhelmed. You constantly reminded that you can't get access to things that somebody on planet Earth is getting access to because your credit is shot. Because it's shot. It's a fact. And without even beseeching remedy, anybody that come with a remedy, I don't trust them, is not true. You've given up already. You've given up already. So it's all in the words, people. It's all in the words. It's all in the words. But you got to learn how to be able to sell property. Do you know that once you make over $400,000, that all those little student loan debts and everything you owe disappears? That's most people. Once you get over $500,000, unless you owe some kind of crazy ass bill, once you have at least $500,000 at your disposal, they'll wipe your credit clean. Oh, you think I'm lying? I know better. You know what I surmise? I believe that this is already a fact, and anybody that has over $500,000 will tell you that. They have to accrue a new set of debt, and that's why I believe, personally, the reason why they get rid of all that old debt, because they want to try you out to get some new debt. And what they don't tell you in school is that there's a statute of limitations on debt. You can only owe somebody money. You can only owe somebody money for so long before the statute of limitations expires. Every city and state has a statute of limitations. 2 to 7 years. No one could owe anybody money after 7 years in America. No, why? Because America's already in debt. You can have a society that's in debt. Render on the responsibility of its inhabitants to pay off the debt. Because then who do we get to go to if Big Brother ain't got the money in the first place? So there's a statute of limitations on debt. If you got one, put pennies for millionaires, houses on new credit cards, or can you outthink your oppressor, you will see the chart corresponding with each city, the amount of years that you can be in debt before it's illegal. And so what a lot of companies do, like a credit card company, but they know they're on their last year of debt. In California is 5 years, Northern California is 7 years. When they know you're on your last year of debt, New Jersey's 2 years, some places 3. When they know you're on your last phase of debt, what those companies do is sell it to third parties, and third parties are calling on behalf of the original debtor. Or creditor, pardon me. They start calling on behalf of the original creditor. Creditor sold them the debt, probably for $500 or so, though you owed $5,000. And the creditor says, yo, we see you owe $5,000, but you know what we do for you? Give us $3,000. And you're supposed to ask yourself, what kind of fish market shit is this? How the hell I owe $5,000 1 minute? The credit card company said, now I owe them $8,000 because it's taking so long. Then you, the third party, come in and say, yo, we don't even want the whole $8,000. Nor the $5,000 you owed originally, we'll take $3,000. And you say, man, I could do $1,500. Deal. Now, who the hell is going to take $1,500 when you owe them $8,000? That's because every city and state has a statute of limitations for how long you could be in debt. It's against the law to have anyone in debt past 7 years. Some cities and states have you at 2. Some cities and states have you at 3. So you need to know that first and foremost when we start getting credit repaired and doing all that other stuff. We need to find out, because what happens is it's illegal for third parties to ask you for money. That's null and void. Because what the credit card company did is write it off as a gift. They wrote it off as a gift. They sold your debt for 10%. Boom, yo, you know what? I give it to a third party for $500. Give me something. And now that they've done it, they write it off as a gift. And now, done deal. Done deal. Okay. He's lying. You could be in debt for more than 2 years. What the fuck is he talking about? See how stupid people are? You see how dumb people are? You see how it gets? I said 2 to 7 years. Now what you need to do, you look it up and you'll find out you won't see past the number 7. It's illegal, but you see people are so defeated because they're so broke and defeated that when you tell them there's a way out, they'll say lie before they check it out. I sit here before you and say, here's a bunch of free information, look it up. And you won't even do that much. Now, what kind of level of ignorance is this? What kind of level of cognitive dissonance is this? What kind of fish mark shit is this, as we say in Brooklyn, in Harlem? Come on now. After 7 years, it's illegal to say that someone still owes you money. This is a fact, whether you want to believe it or not. Now what you need to do is find out what kind of compendium or memorandum or affidavit of fact you need to send it to whom it may concern to get that expunged off of your TransUnion, Sparing, and Equifax by way of them CDAs, consumer data aggregators. That's what it's about. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. You could be anywhere you want to be right now. But you here attempting to distract conversation, but I love it because I want y'all to take citation of the person's name. So you can realize these people who and what they are. I always like to get these people's name. Where's that person's name? Liftway. Not wait, Liftway, missing a T. Liftway, W-E-I-G. W-E-I-G-H. It's always good to keep I like to keep a citation of these people who give you misinformation and miss the correct information. So you go to them and then start wondering, asking these people, yo, what are you up to by giving us the wrong information and missing the right information? Very important to ask people that. Yo, what's your handle? Like, what are you up to? Okay, so where we are in conversation, man. So we broke down mortgage. Thank you for the $5 donation for our Solus 25. Okay, make sure that you sent your full name and email there as well. Okay. All right. No, we're not distracted. But sometimes when people are so proud to give misinformation, let's give them the attention they're looking for so everyone can know that they are the abode of untruth. That's what I like. I love it when it's like that. Listen, debates about Islam, Judaism, Christianity, all that is dope. But it'd be irresponsible to know this information and not disseminate it. When I get off the computer, hop in the Bentley and start driving around, and don't tell you nothing. That'd be insane. Okay? Hold on, people. Hold on real quick. Hold on real fast. Okay, we got it. So you just email brotherpolite45@gmail.com. Full name, phone number, and subject. Where we at? So we did mortgage. Mortgage is death pledge, mortgage, pledge or agreement till you die. They hypothecate mortgages. Hypothecation means to dig a hole, dig deep, put in a hole. And foreclosure means to cast away the spirit. So we have the death agreement till you die, because the average person that gets a house will probably be around 30, 35 years old. We'll take the latter 35 years. You do a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you'll be 65 years old. Lifetime expectancy is 72. So it'll take you about 7 years before you die after you finally fulfill this debt obligation, presuming that you pay or stay the course for the 30 years fixed rate mortgage. So that's why mortgage is a death pledge. Okay? Just going over the cipher again. All the words they don't teach you in school, but you also got to understand the semantics, if that's what you want to call it. Because there's no coincidence that these words or these terms were constructed this way. Thank you, crypto guy. Oh, not only is this information found in my book, it's more detailed. This is just me freestyling. My books is more head on. Okay. Thanks for the donation, G. Appreciate it. Okay. Crypto guy, thank you. All right. Yeah, man. I'm about to close. I'm thinking of some other things. Oh yeah, so let's say you want to make money off of real estate but had no money to do so. There's plenty of ways to do it. One thing is you can work off assignment. What is assignment? Assignment is if you can get buy and sell it together, you can make a commission from that. But what I would suggest is that you do get a real estate attorney within that specific jurisdiction where you want to solicit these sales. You don't have to own the properties, but what you should do is get the permission of the person that owns the properties that's looking to sell it. People are always out here looking to sell properties. If you go to them, you say, man, what if I get a chance to sell the properties for you? Even if I mark it up a little bit so I can get my little part. What then might we be able to do? So long as you don't accept the money from them before time, you're good. That's one. Okay, that's important. Okay. And then you get an EMD. You make sure that there's an EMD that will be set up as well. Or you can suggest that to the actual owner. What's an EMD? An EMD is an earnest money deposit. This is so, let's say someone says, I'm definitely going to buy that property. So here's another thing. When you're selling real estate, you might want to create a purchase agreement for somebody that says they definitely want to purchase a property, but they don't have all the money at this particular moment, or they want you to take the property off the market because they're definitely going to buy the property. So what you're going to do is get a purchase agreement drawn up. You probably go to your real estate attorney for that. If you don't have one immediately, you could just hire someone. Just go to a real estate attorney real quick and say, look, I want a purchase agreement. This person wants us to take this property off the market. Not only do you get a purchase agreement, you put a stipulation in there that they have to have an EMD or earnest money deposit. What's that? An earnest money deposit is when you put money down for a property, but you cannot get it back under no circumstances. So you generally make the earnest money deposit over 15%. Why? So, because most likely if someone spends over 15, 20% that of the market value of the property or the going rate for the property, chances are they're going to buy it. And if they don't, being that you took it off of the market for them, which could have got you potential sales, it's the least they can do. So with an earnest money deposit, you don't have to give a person a refund. If they say, oh, my pipe bust, my wife, I kind of spent her money without asking for her permission, because this is what people be doing all the time. Then they get mad at you when you play the game. And now that I know the game, I get an EMD or earnest money deposit. Now I don't give a damn if your pipe bust. I don't give a damn if you use your wife's money, and then they say, man, I thought you pro-black, bro. If you was pro-black, you wouldn't use your wife's money without her permission. Stop that. You see what I'm saying? Because what happens is when you take that property off the market, they have stifled you. So you get a purchase agreement with an EMD, or earnest money deposit, and stipulates that when they put that deposit down, they can't get it back. That's what an earnest money deposit is. It's a deposit that you cannot get back. But what it does is heighten the probability that the person is actually going to buy the property, because who will put such a significant amount of money in a deposit if they wasn't serious about purchasing the property in the first place? So that's how that works. But on another note, you have no money whatsoever. What you will have to get at least $300. You have no money, but you're going to need at least $300. It's a small price to pay to sell property that doesn't belong to you. You find some people out here on these streets and you say, man, if I can sell this property, if I could be responsible for this property selling, can I get a commission? Yes. If you accept the commission before then, you get into all sorts of illegalities and technical aspects. So you don't want to accept no money off the rip. What you want to do is get you a real estate attorney and set up an assignment agreement. Now you want to sell these properties on assignment. That means that you don't own the property, but you bring buyer and seller together. When buyer and seller come to that conclusion and they put the money in escrow and transaction isn't complete until money is over here and both parties is happy over there. Boom, once all that gets done, you cash out. That's perfectly legal. And you didn't even have to own a property at all. You just go around here. There's several people selling properties. All you need. Go to your local real estate attorney and say, yo, I want an agreement to sell properties on assignment for such and such person. You go to the person that's allowing you to solicit their property on their behalf. And if they're smart, they know the law of averages, 2 is better than 1, or 3 is better than 1. The more people I got looking to sell this property, the higher the probability this property will sell. That's how it works. And that's called selling property on assignment. And that's for the people that say, yo, I got no money, but damn, I want to get into real estate. It sounds impossible. But you could go out there and you can do that now. You don't need Brother Polite no more after this. You can just run out there. I told you what to do. Get you a real estate attorney. Make sure you have at least $300 on deck. You should do some due diligence. I got a due diligence course so you can study real estate so you just don't go trying to sell any property that anybody got. Because you want to keep your name good. Because what if you sell somebody a property and that person picks up that property and now you got to pay that person's child support. Because sometimes child support lien on a property as a case in point. Somebody might owe $13,000 in child support. You sold somebody this property unbeknown to them. Now they owe someone's baby mama $13,000 for a child they didn't even make. That's how dirty the game gets. So you got to be able to do due diligence. You want to study the probability of this property selling. There's things you want to look for when you're doing due diligence. Like I said, I got the due diligence course. You can always purchase that. You get it today. Okay, with the link in the corresponding PDF. What takes place with the due diligence course? Hey, thank you, Mike Brown. I love your information. I appreciate your time. Appreciate the $20 donation, fam. So with the due diligence course, what you looking for? Single family households, they sell the quickest. Neighboring water, not always. Because nobody want to deal with the damage when the seas go to turn high, but it depends on the neighborhood now, because sometimes that might be the selling point. So single family household normally sells the quickest. Highly reputable school district, if there's a like UCLA or something nearby. If it's a reputable school district, not just no corny college people be banging and having drama or whatever, that's a selling point, because when the dorms are sold out, they need to purchase property. But understand, if you go on the Zillow account where I show you where to study, you can do some due diligence through Zillow and you can find out what's the average amount of time that people reside in properties in that area. Because people might reside in properties in that area 2 to 3 years on end, 3 to 4 years on end. And normally when that's the case, that's because they're in a school district that is reputable most times, but people are only there for the purposes of school and they leave. And then when the school dorms are sold out or people can't afford it, they're purchasing properties neighboring, which would be the property you'll be soliciting. So you got to understand the dynamic of that, because now you got to be prepared for people to not have a long-term relationship with you. All right. So the things you want to look for when you're selling property, or as far as due diligence or research is concerned, when doing your due diligence, you probably say, I know single family sell, highly reputable school districts, low crime rate. Then you want to study the tax equalization ratio. That's very important. Understand the tax equalization ratio. You go to your local tax assessor's office to find out the information. Also, you want to find out if the property in question should have lower taxes in comparison or in contrast to everything else that's going on. Speaking of comparison, you want to do the comparables. What's a comparable? Comparables are properties within a certain miles radius of the property in question that have similar features. So let's say you're looking for single family households that have been around for 30 years or something like that. So then now you're looking for all the ones in that area that fit that mold, because those are your competing properties. So properties that you don't got a unique property, and sometimes unique properties, you don't really, that's a bargain. Buying a property that's extremely unique, because people tend to be looking for stuff that's kind of common, depending on what marketplace you're in. Okay. And then too much property is too common. Then there's too much competition. But then you got to find the thing that stands out. So it's tedious a task, it is, but it's still very fun, nonetheless. Still very fun for less. Okay. So you're figuring this out. Someone said he's seen 12 different people in the background. It's just insane. 12 different people in the background, 3 people in the house. This is how people look at it. Yo, damn. This is why we failing. ADHD. This is why we failing. Short attention spans. Damn, bro. Pay attention to the information. Goodness gracious. It's a very busy day. People's out here catching flights, missing flights. It's a very busy day. Very busy day. Yeah, that's what people be doing too. You live stream, they be looking on the background, see if they see a banana peel on the floor or something. See if they see a bottle of Moet somewhere so they can talk about you. Does anyone get about the information? My goodness. I'm over here not eating to do this. Bigger than life says, laugh out loud because their house stinks. Yo, y'all crazy. At least the whites are white. I know, I have people talking about the background, shaking my head. Bitcoin 44, I'm with you on that. Oh, bro. I never heard of this guy being on Forbes. So that's the reason not to listen, huh? You know, the people that's been on Forbes is the one that created your educational system to keep your ass broke, right? But nonetheless, if that's important, how about people that have been on Forbes who's hired me? That you can't say you haven't heard of. You go on my social media for that. I don't care if they're number one in anything that they do. I don't care if it's comedy. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if they're male or female. They came through. They seen me. I guess that means something. Or you need people in the picture. Is this what I'm saying? People are very weird. Very weird people. I mean, do my best to scout for information and questions, but you know, people want to know if I've been on Forbes, and they want to know if there's really 13 people in the chat room. I mean, 13 people in the house. Let's see. It's the meat eaters. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, you probably don't respond, but it'd be wild because I'm reading to see what needs to be done. As part of my conversation, sometimes I might not say your name, but I just keep firing off with the information because I read periodically to see where we at in conversation. So unfortunately, sometimes I have to read those things and admit everything else. What would be the best steps to take what would be the best steps to take with this knowledge as an 18-year-old with little income? Jacob Powers. Okay, Jacob Powers. This is what I'm going to tell you to do. Thank you for asking. Let me see if I share this screen real quick. I'm going to share the screen real quick. Jacob Powers, to answer your question. Let's get you started here. Thank you, Jacob Powers, for being sane enough to keep this conversation going. I'm about to get off. Hey, Rat, you over there? Rat? Oh, guess not. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, I'll be on my sports grind. We're going to go to Barron's newspaper. Barron's official site, only $1 for 8 weeks. Look at this. This is very good. So you're 18 years old and you want to make sure you locked in. They got a 4th of July sale. These guys are always talking about some sale. I'm sorry when they gaming me, but they doing their thing nonetheless. July's 4th sale, 4th of July sale, $1 for 8 weeks. Bro, if you got the $1, please use the $1 now and buy you a Barron's newspaper, okay? Barron's newspaper. Right. Can you give me the lime juice and the E3 Live? The screen is not being shared, so if you want to walk around bucket naked, it's perfectly fine. Only for 5 to 7 minutes though, till I go back. Cool? Nobody does that. Man. Anyway, okay, so Barron's newspaper, pardon me, people. Yeah, I got a cup here. I just need to live hooked up in there. Barron's newspaper, very good financial newspaper, keeps you in tune with going on of commerce, and it's important for us to be able to forecast money, to understand the direction that money is going in, to understand opportunities available, because believe it or not, most people end up with some significant sum of money, some shape, form, or fashion, whatever you may see as significant. I say $1,000 is significant. And what happens is you don't really have an expectation. You don't have a plan. You don't have an expectation to get in the money that comes when it comes. And so it goes as quick as it came. And that is the case with the wealthy rappers. And I want to also say, rich rappers send their children to private schools, and rich rappers' lyrics send your children to prison. So please, don't endeavor to follow after what they do. Just consider that. So Barron's newspaper is one of the places, I'm telling you, download the information, purchase it. I don't have a stake or a stock in Barron's newspaper, people, so don't start feeling, oh, I wonder if Polite's going to make some money off of this. It's very, very good reading material, keeps you in tune, keeps you abreast, and then you can already forecast what it is that you want to do upon your come up, and it's motivational. If you're not reading things like this, whatever you're reading, that's kind of what magnetizes you to person, places, and things. So if all I'm reading is and watching is drama, I'm inevitably going to get into drama. If the people I associate with can't keep a conversation up that is relevant to Barron's newspaper, then I probably shouldn't be talking to those people anyway. So what this is to create a magnetism about yourself so that you can walk by someone and realize they're talking about something I know. I need to be in this area. I need to start having soup at different restaurants. You know, you need to start just being where people are that vibrate on this frequency if you intend to get out of the so-called rat race. So Barron's newspaper is great. Let's go to another one. To load you up, you got to start doing the knowledge. Kiplinger's Finance Magazine. Look at that. Yeah, Kiplinger's Personal Finance Magazine. Complete your order. Look, they already got me on the clock. They ain't playing no games. Kiplinger's Personal Finance Magazine. That's a good power suggestion because it makes you feel like I got to start rushing to just buy this thing. No, I'll let it wind down and refresh the page and it'll start again. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty clever. I like that. Kiplinger's Personal Finance Magazine is $12 for 1 year, 12 issues, $1 per issue. Bruh, if you got $13, get your Barron's newspaper and get your Kiplinger's magazine for at least a year's subscription. That's what you do at your age at 18. Start reading and studying. Look, I ain't even promote you my books yet. You can always holler at me for those. But I'm just telling you, these are some cheap things. My books cost more money. These are inexpensive and extremely valuable, and it keeps you up to current with information. Buy this, my brother. 7 great growth stocks to buy now. Look at that. This is the type of conversation they're constantly giving out. Keep more cash. You may be wasting thousands of dollars every year. We show you how to fix your money leaks. These are very credible publications. Okay. If they were directing you to places that send you to hell, they wouldn't have the reputation they have. Okay. So they've created a standard when it comes to promulgating knowledge into the consciousness of the people that are looking to build wealth. Okay, so that's important. This is very good stuff right here. So here's 2 things I ask you to do as having little to no money or very humble, being in a very humble beginning as an 18-year-old. Get you a Barron's newspaper and get you a Kiplinger's magazine. It won't break bank. That's $13, $1 for one, $12 for the other. I promise you won't be disappointed. You'll be excited just reading the things that's going on that's available to you now. What'll happen is you say, damn, I can't even access this yet. It'll have you focused. And it also, depending on your working mind, you might be able to see something that's not taking place and be innovative enough to place that into existence. You may be able to have the vision after reading these types of things. You may be able to troubleshoot in a sense and create a more viable opportunity for the consumer to access their goods or to introduce a new technology to the world. Okay? But these magazines, these publications are extremely good. Extremely good. Okay? So that was the answer the young man's question. Yeah, we're still doing the courses. Ray Sean Griffin, thank you for the $5 donation. All you got to do is email brother, POLIGHT45@gmail.com. Send me your full name and your phone number and subject it. Let me know what exactly you're talking about. Okay? Okay, make sure your full name is there, Brother Calvin. Internship, you mean conscious advisory. Truth is Black. You send your full name, your email. Pardon me, you send your full name via email and your phone number. Full name, phone number, and subject matter. And we can talk about that conscious advisory. All right, y'all. Gassing out. I got to get ready. I don't want to be rushing. So though I have a little bit more time, I don't want to end up having no time. So I'm closing this out. Remember, you can go to brother, POLIGHT45, Brother Polite, 45@gmail.com. Just make sure you spell it POLIGHT45 if you're interested in the conscious advisory. That's month to month. I'm working with you. Consulting, which is by the hour, 200 an hour, 300 in person. In which case, you send your email. Oh, pardon me. Once you make the payment, I send you an email, and it'll have some questions so I can identify your specific interests and needs. And what I'll do with that is come up with a curriculum. So when we have the consultation, I would be able to better be able to serve you. So this means that I'll have templates ready or other resources, addresses, or places where you need to network, whether it's health or wealth, to make sure we can harness the energies necessary to facilitate your goals. That's what we want to be on. That's the goal. And we don't want to cut into your time during the actual consulting, asking you things that I could find out prior. So that's prerequisite. That's what we on. Okay, so that's for consulting. And then of course it's the courses. The courses range. The crypto course is there. Half of it has been done. You have the masterclass, which is $150. That's the last one I will be doing. It's going to be something phenomenal. And like I said, anybody who takes it, I'm going to give you some serious guarantees. You know, I'm going to guarantee the fact you sign up with us, your credit score, we're going to get it up over 100 points, 150. I don't care if you're in the 500s. We can take it to 7. That's easy. That's light work. You know, and when you take the courses, that's when you start learning more about the strategies being employed. It's not something that's magical. The only thing magic about it is the lack of information, disconnect thereof. Just people who don't share the information, because you're not going to really get that information from the religious world, religious zealots, and you know, our good brothers and sisters of the pro-Black, Pan-African, nationalistic, Black nationalistic community, as you call it. It's not. It hasn't been a point of focus, even though this should be what pro-Black standing means to represent. This should be the pro-Black standing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Lime juice and eat loud. Now people are so darn interested. Thank you for the appreciation, Jim Squala. Just put your full name, phone number, and subject if it's for masterclass, conscious advisory, or if it's for consulting. If you email me today, you will be contacted today. That's the type of time we're on today. And make sure you check that information out, replay, and make sure you share the video too. Very important video. Thank you, Miss J. Miss J says, say what y'all want about Polite, but I'm just off of this brother giving the knowledge. Of course, I did my own due diligence, but was able to cop some land. Thank you so much, Miss J. That means a lot to me. Appreciate that. Have I thought about teaching a course on polygyny? Actually, that should be coming up. Someone offered me a deal to do so, opportunity to do so. I may be taking it on. It's interesting. You should ask that. Okay, family. It's been great building with you. Thank you, Douglas White. I will continue to keep up the hard work, bro. It's not easy doing psyche makeups. I hear that. Thank you all so much for the donations and the appreciation. Those donations were very powerful. Never undermine it. I don't care if it's just $1 donation. It's powerful because, I mean, if everybody that was viewing gave a dang dollar, imagine that. That's motivational. That'll keep me up in here. I ain't gonna lie to you. One day I was sitting here, I got so much donations, and I didn't anticipate it because I'm not really here starting it off. Hey, donate. I'd rather give you a service in exchange for the compensation, for the work ethic, right? Or for the money, I should say. And so, man, I stayed the extra 2 hours just on the strength. It was motivational, and I just kept doing other videos after. And it wasn't under pretense to get more donations. It was the fact that, you know, being appreciated. And it qualified my time because now I don't have to say to my family, hey, I'm on this camera for 2 hours on end, 3 hours on end. And hey, I serve my people. Now, if I say, I was on this camera, man, and so much people gave donations, it's like, well, then get on the camera more since you like teaching and they also compensating you. It's a win-win for everybody because you don't have to do that much if the community of people are supporting. You get 100% from one person or you get 1% from 100 people. Everybody gave their 1%. I mean, this could constantly go on. Then I wouldn't even be charged for freaking courses, you know? But I got to qualify my time. I got to qualify my time. Thank you. $2 a pound. Bitcoins 44. Appreciate you. So yeah, never be reluctant to give those donations. I really appreciate it. I cannot thank you enough. I'm always humbled by it because I know you don't have to. Thank you, Don Rahim, for the donation. $2. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate all of that. Whew. Okay. I never want to get off with you guys. I'm having a good time. This was a good session, though. This was definitely, it was spontaneous, but it's a very good session nonetheless. But just imagine what kind of knowledge you're going to take in during the course. So this Sunday, guys, get ready for the crypto information. Mitch Henry, thank you for the $2 donation. Imagine where we're going to take this, man. It's about to go next level. Right. And we wanted to talk and we wanted to eat. Just so stuck. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Demetrius. As long as you got a desktop, laptop, iPad, or phone, you'll be very good with the course. You have nothing to worry about. Peace. I'm over here waving to my phone, looking at y'all over here on the phone instead of over here. Peace to the family. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Iluvu, in fact, means perpetual success in our language, Nduasusu, which means living language. Iluvu, success, family. Thank you for everything. Remember, brother, POLIGHT 45@gmail.com. That's brother, pride, optimism, love, integrity, gallant, honesty, and trust 45@gmail.com. Full name, phone number, subject matter. Can't thank you all enough. Peace.